Israel is 5,690 miles away from the US, 11 hours by plane. Hate travels faster. In a comment, in a post, in a second. Jewish hate is up 388% in the US. Black hate, Muslim hate, and Asian hate are up too. When one hate rises, they all do. Let's stand up to all hate together. Share and wear the blue square from standuptojewishhate.org.
What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. I am so grateful to be alive today. I mean, it is 104 degrees outside, but that's okay. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning, that I opened my eyes, I was able to breathe and see and smell and walk and all these beautiful things. And I also get to have an amazing conversation that you guys get to hang out with us in. And you know that I always try to go around this amazing planet, finding the best humans I can find to come on here to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. I found a beautiful soul. Her name is Barb. She is a wife, a mother, and most importantly, a woman who has found her voice and whose sole passion is to give back to those who are looking for theirs. Now, she is now a health and life coach that works with women over 40 who are wanting to up level where they are at in life. And that is happening to so many of us, Barb. I'm 51. I'm a coach as well. And I work with women, 35 and older as well. And I realize that is definitely something I'm seeing in a lot of the women. They are looking, seeking, wanting more in their life. I think after you've, raised your children and have worked your whole life busting your ass and are doing all these things, that you're just finally at a place where you're like, okay, what next? What next? So Barb, thank you. I can't wait to have this conversation. But before we get all started with the nitty gritties, let's go ahead and know who you are. Who are you, Barb? And first of all, is it Pastuszko?
Beautifully done.
Lord have mercy. Thank God. I thought I was going to ruin it. That's why I didn't try it at the intro. Barb, tell us who you are. Who are you?
Well, first of all, Neena, thank you so much for having me on as a guest on your podcast. I've been so excited and anticipating our conversation. And I'm loving the fact that you have asked me this question, who is Barb? And for the longest time, I didn't know who Barb was. Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I'm a wife of 38 years. Lordy Lord.
That's amazing. I love that.
And just most recently, I became a life and health coach. But for the longest time, I was just the person who was in the background, who felt that it was most important to put everybody else in the forefront. And I convinced myself for the longest time that, being behind the scenes is exactly where I want to be. I don't need to be out front on stage or doing anything that would bring attention to myself. I kind of squashed my own voice. And I liked it, but I didn't like it. I convinced myself I liked it. That is the key thing. I really convinced myself that I liked it. And I know that there's a lot of women out there who feel exactly the same way as I do. And it took, sadly, and I'm almost grateful for it, except, I don't want to give it the kudos that in that way, but because of the world stopping, it really forced me to look at my life, where I'm at now, because to be quite frank, I'm starting the tail end of my life. I'm not a 20-year-old. I'm not like in the beginnings. I'm at the tail end of my life. And it was like, well, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? And I forgot that my passion the greatest passion was to be of service to others. And so I said to my husband, as the world started to come back into life again, I said, I don't think I can go back to a 9 to 5. I can't even wrap
Yeah.
my head around it.
You and a lot of people, right? It's been
Right. And
tough.
he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to research it, because in a lot of my, those tests that you take, Myers-Briggs and these
Yeah.
personality tests, well,
Yeah.
they all kept telling me that I should be an instructor, a teacher, a coach, all of this. And I ignored it. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to look up becoming a coach. And I did. I found, the perfect institute for that. And here I am.
Right. 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 So tell us a little bit about that journey, right? Because I love the target audience that you're reaching, right? So 40 over.
Mm-hmm.
And why 40 over? Why not 20s? Why not 30s? Why did you pick that demographic?
Well, I think there's some relatability there. I believe I have more of a connection,
Mhm.
because we're all having gone through some of this. But once you start in your 40s, you're starting to think, okay, you could be potentially going into perimenopause. Your kids, for some women in their mid to late 40s, your kids are at that age where they're going off to college. You're potentially going to become an empty nester. And then it's
Right.
like, ooh, what do I do?
Right.
If you're with a partner, it's like, oh my goodness, it's just going to be the two of us. How's that dynamic going to
Right.
play
Right.
out?
Even like them.
Right. Well, and
I
and
know.
then never mind when one or both of you retire
Right.
and you're both in the same house together without the kids and all of that. So
Oh, it's so
I
funny.
really felt that I could relate and connect with women over 40 and kind of guide them by talking about my journey and my experiences from that point to this point
Mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm.
in my life, to say, you don't have to make it hard on yourself, or kind of like, don't do what I did, but do as I say. But I'm trying to walk the talk now.
Right, right. I think it's such a challenge, right? To um as women, right, we do go through that perimenopause and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's kind of funny when they start to say, oh, it's like a man going through a midlife crisis, that a woman is going through that too. I've heard that before, and I just laugh, and I'm like, actually, it's not that. It's a reinvention, I think, of yourself. It's not going like buying all these cars and like thinking that we're like whatever the stereotype is of a man going through
I
midlife
love
crisis.
that.
Right.
A new car. Yes.
Right. But
Menopause.
I
I
don't
get
know,
a
Barb,
new
you sound a
car.
lot like me. Like you sound a lot like you were like contemplating, how many years do I have left on earth? Like how many
Mhm.
years am I going to be here? And what is the impact I want to leave? Like, do I want to leave the same way I've lived the last 40 years? Which probably wasn't bad, or do I want to end it with a bang? Right. And I know for me, like the first 30 years or 20 something to 30 years were very tough, right? A lot of trauma, a lot of things going on in my life that were very hard. And, but the truth is I can't let that go to waste, Barb. I can't let that go to waste, right? So now it's taking all of our experiences, and you probably go with this with your clients and even maybe even in your own journey, where we say, no way, I'm not going to just live all of that for nothing. Like I want to do something with that knowledge, that gift, that skill set, the know-how, the grit, all of that, right? So that's what it sounds like. What was that moment for you? Like I know you said you had looked at your husband and said, what now? But was there something that happened or something that came around that made you go, I need, besides COVID, that made you really shift and want to change?
Um, it wasn't a specific thing, other than the fact that I felt that something was missing, that I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really living the life that I wanted to live. And I
Right.
wasn't
Right.
really liking what I was seeing in myself. I mean,
Oh,
everybody
nice.
kept telling me, oh, Barb, you're such a good listener. Thank you for, supporting me and helping me and giving me suggestions. And I was doing all of this for everybody else, and which is great. And that's what becoming a life and health coach is that's what I do. But I was not doing it for me. So it really, I mean, I hate to say that, it was because of the world stopping,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it really was. It really put the brakes on and gave me pause to say, okay, this is your chance. It's now or never. And
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
really have to do some personal growth, some digging into your reasons why you have let it go this long,
Right.
and find out what has been stopping you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's what I've done over these past 2.5 to 3 years is I've really dug into what and who Barb really is and what Barb really wants and
Hmm.
how Barb is now going to get it.
That's awesome. So, why choose health and life coaching? Like, why choose that field, right? I don't know. We didn't talk about what you did prior to becoming a life coach. So, can you talk to us a little bit about that? I like to see the connections.
Okay, so it's funny because I've always had an interest in health and wellness.
Hmm.
My very first real serious job was an account manager for a company who sold or produced, manufactured compression stockings. So that was my first venture into health and wellness, and I really loved the fact that I was making a difference. I was talking to
Hmm.
doctors and talking to patients and going into different retail businesses like pharmacies and stuff that had that sold our product, and just teaching those people. And I thought, okay, this is good. I was also a fitness instructor for about
Oh,
10
cool.
years,
Oh,
and
wow.
I absolutely loved that.
Right.
But in between all of that, I stayed in the very steady corporate world. I was an administrator, an office manager. I was always called the office mama, the person that everybody went to, which that was my favorite part of the
Yeah.
job. When I was a
Mine too.
fitness, yeah, when I was a fitness instructor, first became certified as a fitness instructor working at a corporate job. And it was a brand new company in the city that we had just moved to. And they had built this beautiful fitness center. And they said, anybody who is interested in becoming an instructor, we will pay for you to become an
Oh, wow.
instructor. And you can teach on lunch breaks and stuff like that. And I thought, heck yeah, that's me. Sign me up. And that's what I did.
That's
And that was
awesome.
the favorite, my most favorite part of the day was when I got to, okay, 11:45, I go there 15 minutes, set myself up, do my class, and then I got to go back to my
Right.
desk. But that was my favorite part. So I've always been on the edge of anything that was health and wellness related. And I had other jobs that were also in health and wellness. And that
Mhm.
was my favorite part was being in that environment. And so that is really how I decided that becoming a life and health coach and finally being in that health and wellness industry permanently, so to
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
was where I was meant to be.
Yeah, it's great when we can, this is what I do with my clients as well. Like we talk a lot about what their skill sets, their gifting, their know-hows, all of that, because we put
Yes.
that all in a big, pillars for them and big program for them, so
Mhm.
that they can utilize not only what they're passionate about, but what they're good at when it comes to skill sets, right? Because I think most of the time we feel, and hey there, my amazing community of straight talkers. I just wanted to give a quick announcement because I wanted to introduce you to a transformative life coaching program that I have made exclusively for women. I want them to break free from shame and embrace their true potential so that they can build that life and business that they have always wanted. Now, our transformational coaching will guide you. We will help you. We will uncover your passion, your goals, and will develop your roadmap to success. Visit me at neenaperez.com and you can join an amazing community of women that are on the same trajectory as you, because I want you to create that life and business you deserve and transcend that shame and unwanted behaviors. So don't wait any longer. Visit neenaperez.com and let's embark on this journey together. Now back to the show. Might agree or disagree with this, but I feel like the women I deal with anyway, sometimes when we come to the table to talk about the business that they're trying to structure out, most of them are coaches and consultants. That's really who I work with. And these women are getting out of the corporate world and trying to transition. Same thing that me and you did.
Yep.
And when we sit down and do that, they don't realize that they have such amazing skill sets, even if it's administrative, organizational skills, people skills, conversational skills, listening skills, like all the hard and soft skills that we have in our life, that sometimes because our job was maybe not a great job or treated us poorly, or, doesn't mean you weren't good at what you did. You might have just not liked the job, the
Mhm.
actual place.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, I didn't think of them. Like, yeah, I mean, you just told me you do finances. Why can't that be one of the pillars in your program when you're helping people? If you know how to do finances. And they're like, I don't know. I didn't think of that. I'm like, yes. So we could take them through their transition, whatever it is you're trying to help them with. And this can be something that you're helping them with as well in their program. Right. And so I love that you looked at that you looked at what you were good at, what you're passionate about, what you loved, and said, you know what, I'm going to actually transition this into helping other people. So how do you help other people? So let's say somebody's listening right now and they really, really like you, Barb, and they like your vibe and everything. So how, what does that look like with you and a client?
Well, the first thing that happens when someone engages me as their coach is that I really assure them that they have a safe space. So being with me allows them to be themselves, allows them to open up, speak their truth, use
Yeah.
their voice, spill whatever they need to, so that they can start moving forward. And this is done without judgment, just total support.
Right.
And so that's the first thing. And does it mean that I won't ask them like the hard questions? Absolutely not, because it's only when you start really asking those hard questions and allowing them to dig deep and being vulnerable enough and open enough to answer these questions is when the real healing and the real work actually and the real change actually begins.
So then do you implement the health as exercise and nutrition, or is it more health in mental wellness, or how is the health part a component of your program?
So I'm a firm believer that life and health go together,
Yeah,
hand
that's
in
true.
hand.
Yeah.
Health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you're not going to have a very good life.
Right.
But in turn, that health is not just your physical body, it is your mindset and your mental, emotional, and psychological well being.
Right.
So when those two are in sync with each other, then you have that ability to start realizing that you can do more and be more and have more. So it's imperative that they are both that I talk about both of them together.
Right.
If they come to me more for the life coaching side, that, you know, they want to make changes, they want to discover their purpose, or maybe change some habits, maybe they want more ease and balance in their life, or maybe they need to learn how to set boundaries. Along with that, um, uh, health always comes up, the physical part. I mean,
Right.
I'm not sure that I know of any woman that doesn't actually, you know, talk about her body and how that affects her body, because everything that happens in your mind will be translated into the body in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
stress, through weight gain or weight loss, in your face, maybe with like breaking out, like anything that you go through on the mental side or the emotional side is translated into your body right away.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the two really go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Also in my case, for so many years of working 14 to 16-hour shifts, like no joke, right? Just working straight through, sleeping a couple hours, getting up, doing the same thing over again, being a single mom, taking care of my kids. And then, me and my husband are a blended family. We've been together 27 years. Oh my God.
Awesome.
27
I
years.
know.
He's a really great dude though. But for a long time, because I had the mentality of, I had to work hard in order to amount to something, right? Because I was told when I was a kid, you're not going to really amount to anything. So,
Oh, yes.
you don't even know that that's your driver until you start doing self-awareness work. And then it comes up and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize that was an issue, but it is. So that made that drove me to the point of not being healthy, right? So I have autoimmune conditions now that I'm dealing with and all that. But I am dealing with it is the point. The point
Yes.
here is what Barb is saying, is, health and your life do go hand in hand, guys. And if you think that just forgetting about things or like putting it in the back burner or not dealing with it is going to work, it is not going to work, because the body keeps the score. The body keeps the score on how you feel. It keeps the score on how you wake up in the morning, how you sleep at night, if you sleep at all. Like there's actually a great book that's called The Body Keeps the Score. It's a great book. And it's about that, right? It's about the body keeping the score of all of the traumas and things that we go through in our life. And what you're saying just makes complete sense. And somebody who is listening, who is on the fence about coaching, stop being on the fence. Just stop being on the fence, right? I don't know if you believe in God or not, Barb, but I was I was watching a video of a man. I just wanted to bring this up really quick. I was watching a video of a man who was an atheist, and he said he went into a deep sleep and he had a dream. And on one side of he was walking on this big white picket fence, and on one side of the fence, he said he saw God and angels, and it was like beautiful and green and everything. And he said when he turned his head to look this way, it was dark and people were screaming and it was awful and it was Satan and all that kind of stuff, right? So he said, but he's not a believer. He doesn't believe in God. So to him, it was like, what the heck is going on, right? In his dream. He said he was walking on this fence, looking at both sides, like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, everything went blank and it was just him walking on this white picket fence. And he said then about seconds later, the devil or Satan or whatever he called him comes up and says, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. And the guy goes, what are you talking about? I didn't choose you. I'm on the fence. And the devil said, yeah, I own the fence. Right. Oh, it's right.
Wow.
That story has always stuck with me because I realized that, well, first of all, let me just finish by saying that this man ended up waking up and becoming a complete believer in God, gave his life to God, and started like helping others who don't believe in God. So that's a whole nother thing. I didn't ever follow him, but that video for some reason popped up on my feed and I watched it. And that always stuck with me because every time I'm on the fence with my health, every time I'm on the fence with what I should or shouldn't do, or launch my program or not, or like when I'm on the fence, I always go, wait a minute, the enemy owns the fence. Make a choice.
Make the decision. Yes.
Right. Make a choice. Which side do you want to choose? And I always try to choose life. right? And so I like that you're helping them with this, because this is what you're doing, Barb, is so important to people's lives, because what you're saying to them is, you know what? I want you to choose your health. I want you to choose well-being. I want you to choose your life. Choose life.
Yes,
Right. And
exactly.
people need to get off the fence when it comes to working with someone like you or me, or a good coach, right? That really is there for you. Why else would we do this, Barb? Do you think we want to just do this because, oh, I just like, no, you and I get up every day with the intention of helping someone. That is usually what a coach is for,
And
right?
that's exactly what we did. We got off the fence
Right.
and we chose the route of coach
Yeah.
and you know, taking a stand for ourselves and for other women
Yeah.
so that
Exactly.
we can help other women get off the fence.
Right. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I love that story.
I try to share it whenever I can because it's so impactful, I think, and it's something you can visualize and really see, like, wow, that was impactful in my life, that story. And that was from, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago I heard that story, and it's never left me.
Oh,
So
that's an aha moment for me right
yeah.
there. Just
Oh,
just
that's
hearing that
so good.
story.
That's so good. So Barb, you know what? I know that and I've spoken to you before we got on here. We've spoken
Mhm.
in the past, and I really like who you are as a person. You have a really good energy about you. You seem very kind. Even
Thank
when
you.
we spoke the first time, you were just so lovely and so kind and so intentional about helping women. And that's why I wanted you on the show. I'm very intentional about who I bring on the show. I don't just
Mhm.
bring people on. You should see how many no's I give. They're not very happy with me, but that's okay. I'm happy with me. So Barb, before I let you go though,
Mhm.
there may be somebody listening right now who really does like you, like your vibe, like what you want to do with them. And so I want you to give us how people can follow you, reach you, speak with you, that kind of stuff.
Yes, and again, thank you for having me on today and
You're
just
welcome.
hoping to or just making that connection with other women and hopefully this conversation did resonate with your audience out there because that is definitely my intention. So how
Yeah.
they can reach me is through Facebook. I'm my name Barb Pastuszko, and also on Instagram I'm at Best of Barb Wellness. That's my Instagram
Oh, okay. Best
platform.
of
So
Barb Wellness.
wellness,
Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And there's a story, there's a whole story behind the Best of Barb, but
You want to give
um,
it to us?
oh, I can do it quickly. Yes.
Go ahead, give it
Uh,
to us.
so in two companies before, I was the office manager. And of course, I was organizing all the team events and the client events. And the CEO always said to me, like, Best of Barb, Best of Barb. And before one of my coworkers left, she said, "Do you have Instagram?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "Well, why don't we create an Instagram for you called Best of Barb?" I thought, "Oh, okay." And
Mhm.
so when I became a life coach, I was like thinking, "Oh, what kind of name? What's the name? What should I name my company? Like what should I call
Right.
myself?" And I'm like, "Wait a tick. I've been gifted this moniker by my peers." So, Best of Barb Wellness was created.
I love it. I love it. And you know what, though? I hope that everybody is listening, because this is exactly what I'm talking about, right, Barb? Like the fact that, don't just, I always say poo-poo, just don't poo-poo the experiences in your life, because like you said, this was
Exactly.
this was something someone called you at work,
Mhm.
2 jobs ago, or so, a long time ago, and yet it resonated with you. And so, take your experiences, take your knowledge, take your wisdom, take the things that you've had encounters with other people, and also listen to what other people say about you. If someone wants to connect with you or really likes you or calls you mama, office mama, or whatever they called you, right? Then understand that people are connecting with you at a different level. It's not just
Exactly.
Barb, Barb the manager, right? It's office mama or whatever that is. So that's just an example, right, of how we touch people throughout our lives and not even realize that we are really helping and coaching people along the way, really.
Exactly.
And we should
Yes.
take those experiences. So thank you for being here on Straight Talk and having a conversation with me and sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge. I thank you for connecting with my beautiful audience. I have an amazing audience. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neena.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to make sure to list all of Barbara's information below so that you guys can follow her. And for those of you women who really, really want to work with a coach who's working on health and life and wants to really guide you individually into what it is that you're looking for, if you are 40 plus and over, don't be on the fence. The enemy owns the fence. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is Neena Perez. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.
It's easy to lose sleep when you're worried about your health insurance plan. But when you have a family counting on you to take care of them, having the right coverage is more important than ever. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here to help. With low to no cost plans for you and your family, so you never go it alone. That's our Anthem. Click to learn more.
When it comes to transportation for your business, low-quality suppliers can leave you disappointed. Here at LCG Logistics, we can service all of your logistics needs. Servicing 48 states and Canada, at LCG Logistics, we pride ourselves on competitive prices, dedicated fleet service, and on-time delivery. We are small enough to care and large enough to do the job properly. Call us at 614-272-4052. LCG Logistics, your single-source transportation supplier.